Bucerias has become a very special place in our hearts.
So my name is Dave Sinclair, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada.
I'm Janice Sinclair, and I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan. We met at the Rio Jalisco in Nuevo, and we were out one night drinking lots of tequila.
Yeah, I was on this trip with my buddy, and so a few tequila shots later, you lose your shyness and your ambitions, and so we hit it off and stayed in touch after that trip. 5 months after meeting, I relocated from Toronto to Regina. 3 years after that, we got married on the beach at the Rio Jalisco. But I can recall many years ago when you'd grab a taxi from the all-inclusive and you'd venture into Bucerias, and you'd hit the cobblestone streets, and you'd pull up in front of Yo-Yo Mo's, you'd go in and you'd have a meal, and you'd hop back in the car and you'd leave because it was, it at the time seemed kind of sketchy. It wasn't as developed as the newer buildings, and over time your level of comfort rises, and also to give credit to you, the videos that you did made us feel more comfortable venturing off the resort. A lot of people have that hesitancy to leave the resort because it's the unknown, and just watching those videos gave us more comfort to explore more Bucerias.
We rented at Las Casitas. It's the old site where life is now, and it was just beautiful. 80 steps to the beach, and we ate out every single night for 3 weeks. We just experienced Bucerias for the whole time. Next year, Kate, we're renting again. And then we started seeing your videos and got so comfortable and feeling like we could actually live here, not just do a week or two as an all-inclusive.
We were the typical couple that we don't know what we want. Do we want a house? Do we want a condo? Do we want townhouse? Yeah. What have you. Realistically, we really just looked at a property in Terralta, and we looked at Quadrant. And nothing wrong with Terralta, it's a great community, but we just we wanted something that was at this stage in our lives, with me still working. We didn't want to be having to do a lot of maintenance.
About Quadrant, I love the grounds. I like greenery compared to like staying at Pacifica. It was gorgeous. Rooftop pool, view of the bay, waterfront ones, Maritima we looked at. But this just has the grounds, you can walk around, you feel comfortable. Quadrant is everything.
We purchased our unit in Quadrant back in late 2021, took possession early 2022. And at that time, it was roughly 400,000 Canadian dollars. Fortunately, it was built with pre-COVID construction pricing, which has certainly increased since then. But 400,000 Canadian roughly was what we paid. Since that time, the Mexican peso has appreciated tremendously against the Canadian dollar to the tune of about 30%. So we feel that our investment has probably doubled in the 3 years that we've been occupying it. It's been a great investment from a money point of view, but we didn't do it as an investment, we did it as a place to live, but it does give you that added comfort. It was perhaps a bit premature with me still working. We weren't quite ready, but one of those things, if you don't get in now, you may never get in.
Yeah.
I'm in wealth management as a senior portfolio manager. So Janice retired a couple of years ago. I've still got a couple more years to work, by virtue of the fact that we've all learned from COVID that you can work remotely, and fortunately my profession allows me to do that. The internet is great. We have our own Wi-Fi within our unit. There's also Wi-Fi within the complex, and it's 5G, so it's sometimes it's better than what we've got back at home. I did have one client couple who know Mexico say, "Is that a Mexican air conditioning unit behind you?" Sometimes I'll turn the camera around and just say, see, here's our view out of our window with the palm trees and the bushes and the blue skies. So I don't want to rub it in too much, but.
Back in Regina, I worked for the federal government, Farm Credit Canada, for 30 years, and I was due to retire, so I retired. Not as easy for me to have been here to work. I love retirement. Sometimes I do get bored because he's working, but I've made friends here. I just need to make more friends and get into Like a lot of ladies here go and have lunch and go to an art class or something like that. So I need to get more involved that way. But I get up and I've got my patio where I can work out on or go to the gym. So there's lots to do.
You can't go out and walk around Bucerias without running into somebody you know, which is a great feeling. It's a small town and you always see somebody that you maybe haven't seen in a while. Renew that friendship, and people just are more relaxed here, so they're more open to talking and making friends, and it's just been really refreshing, and it's a slower pace, and people aren't in the rush that they are where we come from. So there's more time to just sit back and get to know each other and create those bonds.
Happy hour.
Yeah.
Everyone here is, like Dave said, relaxed, and they're just here to enjoy themselves, go for walks and talk to each other, really get to know each other. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we are temporary residents now, and it was a long process. And it's something where you can try to do it on your own, but we wouldn't recommend it. And so being from Canada, what you have to do is you have to apply at a Mexican embassy in Canada first, and that's the pre-approval. And so there's a lot of work involved in gathering the data that you need to satisfy the requirements, because Mexico quite rightly just doesn't want people showing up and then going on welfare. So I want to make sure that you're financially able to be here, which that's fine. So going through that process, it was lengthy in terms of getting the documents together, but fairly straightforward in terms of approval in Canada. When you come down to Mexico, you've got to get to an immigration office within 90 days or 6 months of the pre-approval.
6 months.
6 months, thanks. And so by virtue of one of your videos, we hooked up with an immigration lawyer here in Bucerias who was very helpful, completed the paperwork, which all has to be in Spanish, let us know what the various fees were, etc. But it was a long process because of the fact that you can't pre-book an appointment. You just have to show up at the office and hopefully they'll take you that day. And so first time we went there at 7 in the morning. The office opened at 9, but we weren't in the first 24 people, so we weren't able to get processed that day. We went back a week later. We were there at 5 in the morning. We were able to get in and be processed that day. But unfortunately, they weren't issuing the green cards that day. And so as a result, we had to wait for the green card to be issued, but we were also going back to Canada, which meant additional paperwork. So you could temporarily leave the country while the process was still in play. And then when we came back, we got the green cards, the following January. And so a year later, we then had to go through the process of the first renewal after the first year. Again, which I made it more of a process because I renewed my passport in Canada. So now I had a different passport number than they had on file. So again, more forms, a few more pesos need to be paid, etc. But again, the lawyer's office helped with that. So there are benefits to having residency. The main one for us really was just the fact that if you don't have temporary or permanent residency, if you were to sell your property, there's going to be a large tax to be paid, sort of as a speculation tax. It's also handy when you get to the airport, you go through the residence line as opposed to the visitors line. But your luggage doesn't come out any sooner, so quite often Janice will say, what's the point of having residency? But those are the main reasons that we got that, and eventually when you become, our understanding is when you have your permanent residency, you will qualify for health care here in Mexico.
The health care here is wonderful. I had bronchitis earlier this year, and we were going to be leaving to go on a cruise. He gave me the medication I needed right away. He did the nebulizer. He said, do this, and he spent so much time with me. And I don't know, I don't feel like we get that back home. You get your 5 minutes and get out. These doctors really spend time with you.
Yeah, so I have health coverage through my employer. Covers the first 30 days of travel, but we also purchased a private plan to cover us for a year, just because we were doing a fair bit of travel this winter outside of Quadrant, and so we've got coverage that way. So we don't have anything here locally in Bucerias, but our experience with healthcare has been great. We have a doctor just around the corner who We visited several times for a few issues, both of us, and he spends as much time with you as necessary to get to the cause of the problem, and provides the the remedy. I blew up a knee last March, and so people from Canada, probably the States, could understand what I'm about to say, and the wait times are quite long. Whereas here, I saw the doctor on a Tuesday, scheduled me for an MRI on Friday, met with a surgeon on a Monday, had the arthroscopic surgery the following Monday. And so within 2 weeks I had it done. I had to pay for it personally, but the cost wasn't prohibitive. And fortunately, we were able to pay it out of our pockets, but just the fact that it was done so quickly and so professionally, and the healthcare professionals here are very well trained, and we're very comfortable with going to anything for anything.
Everyone that's traveled to all the places around here have had such good experiences, it just really makes you want to go and do it yourself. And we do plan on traveling more once Dave retires and doesn't have to worry about work.
We don't have a vehicle here, so we to this point been quite content walking or taking a taxi, or getting private drivers to take us places. So we've limited ourselves to the bay, basically, from PV down to Punta de Mita. But our plan for next season is to venture out more, and we've got we've got a driver in particular that would be quite willing to take us places, and we're not at that stage where we want to rent a car or buy a car yet. But it's just our level of comfort has increased. We really want to spend a couple of years just getting our feet underneath us. Now that we've physically owned this property for 3 years, we want to make it a bit more like home, and so. Because we can't always see eye to eye on how things should be decorated, but more importantly, where do you source things? It's different from Canada or the States, where you can just go and locate things very quickly. In Mexico, things have to be sourced in different areas, and we don't have the ability to drive to Guadalajara, take a 4-hour ride each way to do it. And plus, we're not experts, so we've deferred to an interior designer. It
was challenging to find furniture that you, compared to Canada, you can go to Ashley's Furniture or someplace and get what you're used to. Here, it's sight unseen. And we had an experience where we got a couch, wrong color. Of course, it was here already, and we were in Canada, so there's not much you can do about it. So we had to end up selling it for way less than what it was. What we paid for it, and so it's just better to get someone who really knows what they're doing. For furniture-wise, though, like our beds, frames, and our coffee table and dining table, we took a whole day and cabbed it from store to store to go to a place that will build all the furniture and rattan outdoor furniture, and just ordered it. And that process wasn't bad, because they would make it and say, okay, we can deliver it to you in 2 months. And we weren't in our union yet, so that worked out more smooth.
Yeah, and the furniture we've had manufactured has been great quality. It's the local Perota wood, and live edge furniture with a lot of different patterns going through it. And the cost was much less than we expected to have something custom built that is solid wood and is durable.
Looking back, what I would have done differently is actually take more time in getting to see what's out there before we bought things, because we have had to recycle things, and we've only been here 3 years. So that's why we're getting an interior decorator, so we're not having to do that ourselves.
When we use our handyman services, it's much more cost effective than it is in Canada. We can get something done for 500 pesos, and he'll spend an hour doing it, and even if he runs into trouble, there's no extra cost. Whereas back in Canada, they're charging an hourly rate, and there's overhead on top of that, et cetera, et cetera. So it's probably 1/10 the cost, and the quality of work is great.
The more you come here, the more comfortable you feel.
But we feel very comfortable here. Nothing good happens at 2 in the morning, but that's the same anywhere in the world, really. So, yeah, we're quite comfortable just walking out, any time of the day or night.
Yeah.
And you keep your wits about you.
My advice would be to watch Paul's videos. You have some really good information, and it is very helpful on our side to see that and go to a good lawyer to get your residency. And and how to pay a bill, and it's really comforting.
You're coming to a different country. It's not a third world country, it's a very developed country. And so, it's important to realize that, we're in somebody else's country, so to be respectful of that and be respectful of the culture and the heritage and the way things are done, and to have some patience. It's just, you learn to relax, and it's not a bad thing to chill a little bit and be patient. And I recall one of your videos, somebody said, I think it was Karen, said if you plan to do one thing a day, you do that and you're happy, as opposed to trying to plan 3 or 4 things. But you get 3 or 4 things done, that's a bonus. And it's not such a bad thing either, so you learn to relax, enjoy, life is short, and it's a beautiful place to be. The weather's consistent, fresh food, great seafood, great people, just more relaxed environment, probably adds a lot of years to your life.
Hola amigos, it's me, Paul, and my beautiful wife, Daniela.
Hola.
And we just wanted to extend a big thank you to Janice and Dave for sharing their story about moving to Mexico and buying their lovely condo here at the Quadrant.
We also wanted to let you know we have a rental place here, Casa de los Soñadores. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo with special summer rates right now.
With its prime location and modern amenities, the Quadrant is an amazing place to live here in Bucerías.
So if you're interested in owning a property here, please send us an email at info@movingtomexi.co and we'll share more details.
Thank you once again for watching today's video. We truly appreciate your support. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. De mi familia a la tuya, Dios te bendiga.
Adiós.